Welcome to Blackest Night, the complete story. Now we're going to be going over the main plot, because this story is massive, and we will be eventually grabbing some of the tie-ins, because I love a lot of them, but right now I just want you to understand what happened in the Blackest Night, so that we can get back to our pretty much chronological timeline of what's going on in the DC Universe. So let's get you caught up quickly. The Blackest Night happens after all of the lantern types have been discovered, and there's a prophecy that the Blackest Night will be arriving soon. The Guardians have been doing what they can to prevent it, but after a few Green Lanterns get swallowed up by the Black Lantern battery as it calls out for flesh, it's too late. It's awake and it picks William Hand as its anchor to the mortal coil. This is also taking place during the period in which everyone thinks that Batman is dead, but he's actually traveling through time. So with that going on, things begin with Hal and Barry paying their respects to Batman, their friend who they think was recently killed by Darkseid. And they reflect on all of the friends that they have lost. Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, Firestorm, and countless other superheroes, and now Batman. They comment how they hope everyone finds a way back just like they did, and they head off from the graveyard. But somebody else was there. Blackhand steps out of the shadows and he takes Bruce Wayne's skull from his grave. Rise, Bruce Wayne, for the dead will rise. John Johns, Ronnie Raymond, Ryan Kendall, Roscoe Dillon, Lisa Snart, Digger Harkness, Arthur Curry. Rise. Every dead superhero and villain suddenly receives a Black Lantern ring, and they rise from their graves. And John Johns, standing in front of Hal and Barry, would like to know, how are you guys alive right now? Things kick off right then with the dead walking amongst their former friends, and the first superheroes to fall are Hawkman and Hawkgirl to the Black Lantern Elongated Man and Sue Digby. And now that they're dead, Carter Hall, Kendra Saunders, rise! Over with Hal Jordan and Barry Allen, they look rather shocked to see John Johns standing in front of them. And Hal quickly uses his ring to figure out that Johns isn't what he seems, and their fight begins. The Flash and Green Lantern quickly get away, but then our Black Lantern Martian Manhunter goes crazy on the city. Did everyone forget that he's as powerful as Superman? Flash and Green Lantern quickly go to work trying to stop him, but he quickly begins to mess with their minds so that they think that they're fighting him when in actuality they're fighting each other. Meanwhile, back in space, the Black Lantern rings are moving over the entire universe, looking for any dead body that they can jump onto. And this is where things get really bad, because Aquaman shows up and begins to attack Mera, Aquawoman, and Deadman begins to panic that his body is going to rise, but how can it rise when he's actually standing next to it as a spirit? More superheroes and villains keep reviving all over the place, and it even manages to take over Spectre, the spirit of vengeance. But things for the Green Lantern and Flash back over at the city get even worse, with all of the local Black Lanterns showing up looking for them. Out in deep space, all of the dead members of the Green Lantern Corps begin to rise, Mogo included, and the other corps, they're all dealing with their members reviving. Yellow, Sapphire, and Orange are all now facing enemies that cannot be defeated. Back on Earth again, the Green Lantern and Flash are trying their best to defeat their former friends, and they seem to be failing. That is until an Indigo Lantern arrives and shows that she can destroy the Black Lanterns by tapping into the emotional spectrum. She quickly grabs the Flash and Green Lantern and she teleports them to the Hall of Justice, where standing there is Mera, Firestorm, and the Atom. They all ask her what is going on and does she know what these Black Lanterns and these zombie things are. And she explains that the darkness was here in the beginning and it was placed in check by all of the other emotions. Well, the darkness is now pushing against us again, and all of the Lantern Corps are going to need to come together to stop him. And by him, I mean Necron, the entity of the Black Lantern Corps. But before they can come up with a solid plan, the Black Lanterns find them and begin to assault this small batch of surviving superheroes. Caught off guard, the evil Black Lantern Firestorm quickly turns the current Firestorm's girlfriend into table salt, killing her, and removing Firestorm from the equation. Every time the Black Lanterns kill somebody, the power levels on their ring continues to grow. And with the death of the other half of Firestorm, the Black Lanterns are at 56.56%. But killing the other half of Firestorm wasn't even their goal. You see, the Justice League keeps the bodies of their enemies in a crypt beneath the Hall of Justice, which means that a whole bunch of former villains are now waking up as Black Lanterns. The Indigo Tribe members see this as being a problem, and she quickly grabs Hal Jordan and warps him away to build a group of lanterns to face against this coming threat. Flash, Mera, and the Atom all escape through a phone line using Atom's powers. Now across the galaxy, everyone is losing their fight against the undead. The Black Lantern rings brought here by the emotional spectrum are being used to try and take over the entire universe, with Black Hand leading the charge as Necron's connection to the real world. The Lanterns need to come together, or this will end horribly. Knowing this, the Indigo Tribe goes out and grabs each one of the primary members of their respected corps, and they assemble. Hal Jordan for green, Larfleeze for orange, Sinestro for yellow, Sane Walker for blue, Carol Ferris for sapphire, and Atrocitus for red. While they may not like each other, they all realize that they need to stop the Black Lanterns, or everything will be lost. Back on Earth, Flash does what Flash does best. He warns everybody on the entire planet to hold off the Black Lanterns. They aren't your old friends. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps are trying to stop the source of this right now. Just hold fast, my friends. We will win this day. But can they? Because just now, the power levels of the Black Lantern rings are reaching 100%. And at 100%, Necron is brought to the mortal coil, and he revived all of Coast City as Black Lanterns. But don't worry, because the Flash has friends, and the Teen Titans and the Justice League show up, and they go to town destroying the Black Lanterns. I mean, come on, guys. No one can stand up against the combined effort of all of our superheroes, right? And to add fire to that fight, the new combined lanterns show up, and they begin to blast the Black Lantern battery core with all of their lantern beams. That's it, guys. The superheroes win. Cue the happy music for winning. Wait. A black ring revives Batman, and then he spits out a crap ton of more rings. And Diana Pryce, Kal-El, Connor Kent, Bart Allen, Oliver Queen die. You see, Necron explains that many of the superheroes have died, some of them repeatedly, but they didn't escape death. Necron let them go back to Earth, and he did it for this purpose, because they are all still connected to him, and now they are his Black Lanterns. But Barry Allen and Hal Jordan also recently revived, and the rings begin to chase them. Don't worry though, because Barry runs 2 seconds into the future, breaking the connection the rings had to them, making them temporarily immune to the chasing rings. To help even the odds once again, Ganthet of the Green Lantern Guardians causes a chain reaction in all of the rings, forcing them to duplicate and seek more members for their respected corps. Welcome the newest member of the various Lantern Corps. Barry Allen for hope, the Atom for compassion, Scarecrow for fear, Lex Luthor for greed, Mara for rage, and Wonder Woman for love. They all go crazy on all of the Black Lanterns, melting them left and right. And through merging with Parallax once again, Hal Jordan is even able to take out the Black Lantern Spectre. But regardless of all the power they have, they still can't harm Necron. Eventually, after some infighting and a battle against Black Hand, Necron literally takes the heart out of one of the Guardians and slams it into the ground. And he's making contact. But with what? Behold the entity, the beginning of life. And life in all of the universe began right here on Earth. And Necron aims to kill it, because all living beings are connected to it. This is Necron's master plan: kill everything by killing the entity. But the entity is just like any of the entities for any of the corps. If he can be hosted by someone, they might have the power to stop Necron. And it's Sinestro who wants to prove his worth to everyone and save the universe as the first White Lantern. But it's still not enough. Necron just reaches inside of Sinestro and tries to rip the entity right out of him. What can they possibly do to stop this? Hal Jordan gets all of the corps to blast Necron with the power of all of the rings. And he then says, Necron, you wanted to take credit for all of us coming back from the dead, but it wasn't you. We chose life. Everybody came back from the dead because we did it ourselves. We all chose life when given the option, and we are all connected to life. The entity sees this and gives everyone who came back from the dead a white ring. The White Lantern Corps is now born. The white rings go even further, and they revive William Hand back to humanity, which is Necron's connection to this world. And lastly, it revives everybody who rose first. Aquaman, Deadman, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, all of them are back. And with no connection to the mortal coil any longer, Necron is defeated by our superheroes choosing life. Things are a bit off in the aftermath. Heroes and villains have been revived from the dead, and for what reason, we don't know. Even the Anti-Monitor has been revived from the dead and is roaming free in the universe once again, and Black Hand has vanished with the Indigo Tribe. And Deadman is no longer dead for some reason. There also seems to be a single White Lantern crash landed in the world right now. All of this leads into the Brightest Day, the follow-up to this entire adventure. But for now, we're going to end this story. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like the video, go ahead and favorite it and share it on all of your social medias. We really, really do appreciate it, and we're really thankful for everyone that does. And I'll see you guys next time, right here at Comicstorian.